they will learn about even the modern methods of irrigation. That is, you can see the modern methods of irrigation, and we'll compare both the traditional methods and the modern methods. So let's begin. See the first page itself. We'll start with the first point. The traditional method of irrigation, water is lifted from water source such as a well, lake and canal by using human labor or cattle. Now for example, children, if we want to take out water from a well, we use either a bucket with the help of a pulley system. Like this we pull out water, or if we want to take out water with the help of a motor, that is electric pump, then we use tube wells. So like this, these are the traditional methods in which from a source of water we use something to take out water. Now the next point, traditional methods are cheaper. Definitely to dig a well, it's very cheap, but at the same time they are less efficient. They are not very efficient, so efficiency is lacking. And there is wastage of land and water. Like the canal, the area near the canal, they often get flooded, and there is salinity increases and makes the soil infertile. Then tanks also occupy large area and they are shallow, so they get evaporated also. So often the tanks are empty when there is need of water. So like this, the traditional methods, at times we have seen they are not so efficient. There is a wastage of land and water, but they are cheaper. So along with advantages, there are so many disadvantages too. Now the third one, the problem of water logging leads to increase in salinity. Just now I mentioned the canals, when they are over flooded, they can the water percolate deep inside the ground, penetrate, and the salt comes to the surface. So like this problem of salinity leads the land or leaves the land infertile and unfit for agriculture. So we can say that the traditional means, along with some advantages, there are lots of disadvantages. Now let's see the modern means of irrigation. So the modern means of irrigation saves a lot of water, which can be utilizing for more areas. Means larger areas can be irrigated by using the water which is saved. Then the next, weeds do not grow because water reaches directly to the plants. Now children, when we learn, I'll teach you about the modern methods of means of irrigation. Then you will understand that weeds are actually the extra plants which grow in the agricultural field. When you are growing a crop, along with the crop, due to the excess of water and fertilizer in the field, there are wild plants also that grow in the field which are not required by the farmers. So this can be controlled by modern means of irrigation, because in these means the water reaches directly to the roots of the plant. So there is water, it is a water saving technique, and also it can avoid the growth of weeds. Now the third point, crop yield is increased in this method as the area near the plant is dry, so no bacterial growth. So bacterial growth is limited. So how can we prevent bacterial growth? Because in this method the water reaches directly to the crop, and therefore there is no wastage of water, no excess water to support bacterial growth. So children, this was the difference between the modern and traditional methods of irrigation. So let's learn and see some question. The first question here is, why the modern method of irrigation are better than the traditional ones? See, this can be an important question. You should learn it. Now answer is, the modern methods of irrigation are better than traditional methods because it saves more water and also reduces the time and labor. This is why people prefer modern methods on traditional methods of irrigation. See children, I know you are still confused, because until and unless you learn about the modern methods, you will not be able to compare the traditional and modern methods. You have already learnt about traditional methods, canal irrigation, tank irrigation, well irrigation. So now we will continue with the modern methods. So here I am with the modern methods. First, sprinkler irrigation. So before we read, we will see the picture. See children, this is a picture of sprinkler irrigation. In this you can see there are thin pipe like structure, and nozzle is there from which the water is being thrown to a great distance. And you know, these nozzles, they are often moving, circulating also. So if they are moving around, then they can spread water in a circular motion also to a great larger area. So you can see the force of water is so high that it can irrigate a large area, and there are rotating nozzles also. So this is the picture of sprinkler irrigation. Now we will read about it. First one, sprinkler irrigation is a method of applying irrigation water which is similar to natural rainfall. So can you see, if we just saw the picture, it was like a rainfall only. It was a sprinkling of water, and water is distributed through a system of pipes, usually by pumping. It is then sprayed into the air through sprinklers so that it breaks up into small water drops which fall to the ground. Now children, in spite of huge amount of water falling into a ground, if drops of water fall, then the moisture will be maintained and there will be no water logging. Now the next point, the sprinklers can be mounted on moving platforms. Now children, just now I showed you in the picture, these sprinklers can also be on a moving the nozzle of the sprinklers can be moving circular motion, so that the water is sprayed even in all around. So this is about sprinkler irrigation. Let's see the advantages and disadvantages. So in this page you will see the advantages. The first one, erosion of soil is avoided. Definitely, if there is only drops of water falling on the ground will remain moist, and there will be no water logging, and erosion of soil will be avoided. It is possible to apply water uniformly. So definitely the sprinklers are spreading all over water uniformly, and the irrigation of water better controlled according to the need of the crop. So whatever water is required, we can even manage the force of the water coming out from the sprinkler. And there is no surface runoff, and the labor cost is also less. Damage to crop due to frost is reduced. Now see, in the cold area, the frost means water directly freezes, the water vapor directly freezes and it becomes frost. Especially this happens in cold places during winter nights. So if sprinkle irrigation is done, then the ice can also be removed. When the water falls on the ice, the temperature of the ice, temperature will rise and the ice will melt. So like this, it can even reduce the damage of crops due to frost. Now it is a standby drainage pumping set. It can be used even with high water table. So like this, children, you can see a long list of advantages of sprinkler irrigation. You can go through, and in case of a doubt, you can ask. Now the disadvantages. Although this method has number of advantages, yet it has some limitation. So what are the limitations? First one, winds may disturb or distort sprinkling pattern. Yes, so if the wind is very fast, it can disturb or distort the sprinkling pattern. It can affect. Then a constant water supply is needed for commercial use of equipment. Water is to be clean and free from sand. Otherwise, if sand is there, then it might lead to sedimentation, and the pores of the land will be filled with sand, and it can destroy the fertility of the land. Heavy soil with poor intake cannot be irrigated efficiently. So if the soil has big pores, then a lot of water will be required, and it will be filled, and it is not suitable for such type of soil. Then areas of high temperature, rate of evaporation will be high, so there will be loss of water. So whatever water is being given by the sprinklers will evaporate quickly, and they will need more water. So this will put a burden on this mode of irrigation. So children, sprinkler irrigation is not suitable for areas with high rate of evaporation, with areas with high porosity of soil. So like this, there are other disadvantages. Just learn 3, that is enough. You will not get more than 3 in the exam. 2 is asked, for a safer side, you will learn 3 of them. So I hope this is clear. Now children, we will move to the next video. Let's come to the next modern methods of irrigation, that is drip irrigation. So first we will see the picture. Now see in this, these are the plants and you can see the pipes are moving all along. So actually these pipes have holes, and these holes are near the roots of the plant, and drop by drop water falls on the roots of the plant. So like this, the roots are kept moist and it helps the plant to grow. It prevents growth of weeds or bacterial growth because the water reaches directly to the roots of the plant. So like this, the moisture content is maintained and the plant can grow in a proper way. So this is about drip irrigation. So let's read the facts about this type of irrigation. So we'll come to the first point. Drip irrigation is a type of micro irrigation system that has the potential to save water and nutrients by allowing water to drip slowly to the roots of the plants. So this is what is drip irrigation. Now children, see the next point. Drip irrigation is also called trickle irrigation because water trickles down to the roots of the plants and involve dripping water into the soil at a very slow rate. What is the rate? 2 to 20 liters per hour. And it depends how much the plant require water. So it varies according to the requirement of the water. So it is done with the help of outlets called emitters or drippers. So I hope this is clear. This is very simple. And see, this is a picture of drip irrigation. You can see children, the pipes, so many mesh of pipes are there, so many. And each pipe is going to the root of each plant. So this is a very intricate system where water directly reaches the root, and there is a total water wastage is totally avoided. Water saving method this is, and that's why we call it the very advanced modern method of irrigation. Now children, advantages. I'll read few and you can read the rest, and as I told you, you need to learn only few for the sake of exam. So first point, weeds growth control is possible. It can be used even in uneven topography. If the land is not even and plain, then also in uneven topography, this type of irrigation can be done effectively. This setup can be put up. Less requirement of water and losses minimum. Insect and pest are controlled, right? Can be directly applied to the roots. Now even this system can be used to put insecticide and pesticide into the roots. So let's proceed with the disadvantages. So what is the disadvantage? Very high cost. You have seen the picture. The setup is actually very costly. Then expense. Initial cost can be more than overhead systems. Now initial cost is very high, and what is waste? Like the sun can affect the tubes used for drip irrigation, shortening their life. So maintenance also need a lot of money because these pipes are very intricate and thin, which are reaching the roots. So if the sun, the heat is very much, then it can affect the pipes and their durability. So like this, these are the disadvantages of drip irrigation. Let us proceed to the next one, that is center pivot irrigation. Let's see the picture. Now children, see this. This is the picture of center pivot with sprinklers. Now, this is the picture. You can see at the center there is a stand. These are the stands in between. You can see it's attached with a wheel, and in between there are so many sprinklers. They actually rotate and the water is spread all around the field. Now children, this whole system also is movable because you can see wheels are there. So they are very much useful in very, very large fields where this system can actually give water in one time to a very, very large area and to so many crops. I hope you understood. Just see this picture. I'll point out the features. Fully automatic machine management, low labor, much labor is not required. Only 2-3 people can just, because it is fully automatic, so just they can use, this machine works on its own. Moderate capital requirement and simple to use. Then like this, the disadvantages can be like this: loss of water, because wind can really affect the performance of this machine, similar to the sprinkler irrigation, and high energy requirement. A lot of electricity is required to operate such machine. Let's see the theory part I have written for you. First point, central pivot irrigation, also called water wheel and circle irrigation. You can mark this: water wheel or circle irrigation is a method of crop irrigation in which equipments rotate around a pivot and crops are watered with sprinklers. So there is a central thing, that is pivot, and around the pivot the equipment rotate and gives water to a very large area. The water spreads into a very large area. A circular area centered on the pivot is irrigated. Center pivots irrigate a circular pattern and central pivot point. As I told, this the pivot, the center point is there, and the sprinklers move all around it and provide water in a circular way. Now pivots are capable of carrying water, fertilizer, chemicals and herbicides. Now apart from giving out water, chemicals can be sprayed with the help of this system, like pesticides, herbicides, to kill the bacteria and that has grown in the field. So herbicides can be given also by using this system. So most center pivot machines are electrically powered. They are electrically powered and use a generator, or they use a generator or a public power source. So like this, children, this is about the center pivot irrigation. So I hope you have understood. So commonly used method in oddly shaped areas such as mountainous region help to conserve water and can be efficiently used in dry areas. So I hope now all this is clear. Come to the next one, subsurface irrigation or SEEP irrigation. Now in this method, let's see the picture. See. Now this type of irrigation, listen carefully, this type of irrigation is done in areas with high water table. What do I mean by water table? The underground water. Under the ground, under the surface of the earth, there is water collected. Whatever is the level of water, that is called underground water table. So if in areas of high water table, this type of irrigation is very effective. Now you can see a tap, water is entering through this pipe, and this is recharging the underground level. Means water is being directly the pipe. This pipe is connected to underground. This pipe is connected to underground, and water is being filling the underground and increasing the water table. The water table has come up to the roots. The water table has come up to the roots, and this is the purpose of sub-irrigation or SEEP irrigation. I hope this is clear. Let's proceed. See the picture. So you can't see the in this that how its underground is being recharged. It is clear from this picture that how the underground is recharged and the water is made artificially to reach the roots of the plants, so that the plants can get water. See this picture. This type of irrigation is mostly used in greenhouses, but children, it is not very good setup for a large greenhouses, but it's very effective in smaller greenhouses. So now you have seen the picture. Let's read about this. In this method of irrigation, the water table is artificially raised. The water table is artificially raised to allow the plants to get water. A system of pump, pipe, wires and gates allow farmers to control the water level. Now children, water level is also controlled. It should not go beyond. Otherwise there will be other problems of infertility of the land. Then this type of irrigation is used in field with high water table. So this is about SEEP irrigation. Let us see the advantages and disadvantages. Advantages are, this method is efficient in terms of saving water, as water comes only in contact with the roots and therefore there is no loss of water. Now students, in fact in all the other methods of modern methods, there is a major point, the most important point is they have prevented the loss of water or misuse of water. And the second comes to disadvantage. It is very time consuming and labor intensive. So a lot of people are required and time also is required to set up, because the laborers, they have to keep a watch that they have to control the level of water table. It is used in greenhouses but not very suited for large greenhouses, because it would require a lot of labor and effort, time. So that's why not very good for large greenhouses but for small greenhouses. So I hope students this is clear. So this was all about the traditional and modern methods of irrigation in India, and we compared them and we learnt about them. So thank you. This was all for today.